my baby. And money don't mean a thing to me, no, 'cause I just kissed my baby. I feel so good, yeah, 'cause I just kissed my baby. Well, 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 and I know that I'm sure, yeah, 'cause I just kissed my baby. Well, 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 kiss my baby, just kiss my baby, kiss my baby, oh yeah, just kiss my baby, then I kiss my baby, kiss my baby, oh, kiss my baby, then I just kiss my baby, yes I did, yes I did, kiss my baby, I kiss my baby, wait on, I feel so good inside. 'Cause I just kissed my baby. Yes, I did, yes, I did, yes, I did. I was on my side. That's a bad day. 'Cause I just kissed my baby. Oh, I just kissed my baby. I just kissed my baby. Oh, yeah.
Greetings, drummers! It's Alan here for DrumGrades.com, bringing you another Grade 2 2018 Trinity Rock Pop lesson, and today we're looking at Just Kissed My Baby by the Meters, drummed by the awesome Joseph Zigaboo Modeliste. Now, what a name that is. Also known as Ziggy Modeliste for short. But yeah, this is an unbelievable funk tune. It's so much fun to play. You can really just groove and just get into the pocket, as it's called. Let me read out the performance tips for you. In the verse of the song, the bass drum is missing from beat 1 of every other bar. It's hard to get used to omitting the strong beat 1, so practice this pattern carefully. In the bridge, the hi-hat is often opened exactly when the bass drum is played. Keep both feet firmly on the pedals and stay balanced as the hi-hat foot goes up and the bass drum foot goes down. I'll cover more of that later on, but let's get straight into this one, guys. It's quite a slow song, this. Quite a nice groovy sort of grimy sort of feel to it, and we don't want to play too fast here. That's the key here, guys. We want to lock in. The awkward thing is the drums come straight in, but the drums are all on their own. There's no music. So what you guys have to do is lock in with that click and just keep the groove slow and solid and tight, most of all. So let me break down this 2-bar pattern we have here. The first bar is fairly straightforward of the 2-bar pattern. Let me demonstrate it. It sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 2, 3, 4. So as you can hear, it's on the hi-hat. We've got the bass drum and snare going on. The bass drum is the thing that's slightly awkward. The hands are nice and simple. They're just playing a standard 8-beat, as you guys know by now. The bass drum is playing on the 1 and the first 2 hi-hats. Then it's playing on the 3 and just before the second snare. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Or if you prefer to count it as an 8-beat pattern, the bass drum's going to be hitting on the first 2 hi-hats, 1 and 2, and then it's going to be landing on hi-hat 6 just before snare on 7. Let me show you that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. if that pattern is a little bit awkward, one good thing to think about is what the hi-hat's doing. So let's say you've just done the first 3 beats of the bar, which is the 2 basses and the snare. Just think 2 hi-hats, and then the bass comes back in on the next hi-hat. So let me show you that little bit. There we go, see those 2 hats? And then we get the bass coming in. So that's bar 1 done. Hopefully that makes sense. Bar 2 is the bar that they were referring to in the performance tips, where they say, look, beat 1 of the bar is omitted. Normally we're used to hitting the downbeat on beat 1 with the bass drum, but here we don't. As you can see from the music on bar 2, we have the little 8th note rest, and then the bass hits on the and of 1 and, or if you're talking in terms of hi-hat 2, as you can see. Let me play that bar on its own. So remember, the first hat is all on its own, then the bass comes in. Then the latter half of the bar is exactly the same as the first again. So after that snare, once again, you could feel those 2 hi-hats, and then the bass is in on 3 and 4. Okay, here we go. Let's do bar 2 all on its own for now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess it's kind of 2 halves of the same thing, isn't it? Hat, bass, snare, hat, hat, bass, snare, hat. 2, 3, 4. All right, so then both bars together would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that little phrase that we see twice in the second bar there, obviously we end the first bar with that too. So we kind of get 3 of those in a row, which just feels great. It's got this really nice sort of like loose, I don't know how to describe it, but when you link that in with the groove on the bass guitar and the guitar and the vocals, boom, da, it just feels awesome to play. So once you have control of that 2-bar pattern, we're going to play that 3 times. So that's twice in the top line. As you can see, we have the repeat the 2 previous bar sign there to finish off line 1 in bars 3 and 4. Hopefully you guys have seen that before. If not, that just means repeat those 2 bars before. Easy. So then we move down onto line 2, bar 5 and 6 is the 2-bar phrase again. So like I say, 3 times. Why don't we hear that? 1, 2, 3, 4.